Hello and welcome back to I Ramble About Hockey for 20 minutes, because I can. So as of May 8th at like 6:30 in the evening, for some reason, the official list of potential names for the Utah team was announced, um, and most of them are bad, but a few are good. Most suck. So I'll go through each. I'll give my opinion. There's a few housekeeping issues first. First, for the first year, the 24-25 season, the team will not have a name. It will, I assume, it will just be Utah Hockey Club or Utah HC, which we'll get to in a minute. So that kind of sucks because it's a bad look. You move the team because they're having problems, and then the first year, oh, we're not gonna have a name actually. Really? Then why'd you move? Thought you had this planned out. You don't need a logo right now. You need a name right now at the minimum. And I'll come back to that because I have an idea for how you could fix it. They're not gonna do it because they pretty much said they aren't. But it's a bad look. It's a bad look to go, well, we'll just be the Utah team for a year and we'll figure it out later. Yeah, I get that you want to make sure you get it right, and that's fair. Make sure you don't rush into a bad name and then regret it down the line. But it's a bad look to be, all right, we want a team. We're ready for a team. Actually, give us a year and then we'll be ready for a team. It's what it is. Um, so there's 20 names. I've kind of sorted them. Um, so we'll just kind of go through each and I'll give some pros, cons. An important note before, almost all of these, you can create a good logo for. That is not the problem. It is very easy to create a logo for all of these. The problem is the name itself. Because all of these, anything you can create a good logo for, but if the name sucks, you're not going anywhere. So as mentioned, let's start with Utah HC or Utah Hockey Club. It's a bad look. However, it does actually not sound too bad. Although, kind of gives off the MLS or professional soccer kind of, something FC kind of look to it. And I will say hockey club is way better than football team when Washington did it, because that was stupid. Remember how we laughed at them? Yeah, that's us now. So now we get to be laughed at. Fairly, but still. Um, and they have confirmed that the jerseys will just read Utah across the front for the first year. It will just be Utah, nothing more. Colors? I don't. We haven't been told that. We haven't been told anything pretty much. They just said we'll figure it out. Which it's not like it's a problem to just have Utah, seeing as the Grizzlies have done it and the U of U team has done it. So it's not like Utah alone won't work. It works fine. It's just kind of sad coming into, we have the team, kind of like we just have it. We don't have an identity yet. Um, but it's not that it can't work. It's just a little sad. All right, so getting more into the names itself. Let's start with the Utah Black Diamonds. In fairness, a lot of mining here. Winter, black diamond, and skiing makes sense. It's very unique. I'll give them that. It's odd though. It's odd. Unique, but odd. It's not something I would imagine for a team, but it could work. It's not in my top picks. Plus, it's already the name of an Upper Deck product, which isn't a problem necessarily, but it could be Could cause confusion, could cause right issues. I doubt it. They're not going to go with it, but it could. So, it's not a great name. It's all right. There are worse names on this list. Not as worse, but getting there. Utah Canyons. Fair enough. We have outdoor here. You know, a lot of outdoor culture. We got the South and the Red Rocks. It's just a bad name. It's the only problem. It's a great logo, as mentioned at the top. It's a great logo, but all of these can be great logos. It works better as a logo. It's a terrible name, great logo. Fair enough. Now one that actually could work, and you know what? It's growing on me, is the Utah Mountaineers. It's very unique. Big history of pioneers here. It is a little odd, but it's, like I say, it's growing on me, actually. I don't hate it as much as I initially did. However, it does sound kind of like a minor league team. Doesn't really give that kind of official sense to it, which you'll see with a lot of these, is the main problem is they're just simple and they're kind of minor league sounding. They're not great names. Like, they work, but not for an NHL team. They would work like if you want to rebrand the Grizzlies, which they're not going to do, but say in this hypothetical, a lot of these names are better suited for a minor league team, not a professional team. Now, not saying that these names haven't worked before. You've had going with the kind of Mountain and Black Diamonds, you've had the Dayton Gems, same franchise twice, in the IHL and the CHL, and you've had the Rockies in the NHL at one point. So it's not that mountain-themed can't work. It can. It's just they're a little odd, but they can work. Utah Blast sucks. That's just a bad name. Like, there are minor league teams named it. It works as a minor league name. It's boring. It sucks. Same with Fury. The only thing is, you can claim it sounds cooler than Blast. Fairness, I'll give you that. But it's in the same camp. It's bad. Don't pick it. It's bad. There's a lot of winter-themed ones in here. The Utah Ice starts us off. There's already a team named the Winnipeg Ice, which they moved. I don't remember what the moved team is, but it's still the Ice. So it works. And big winter sports legacy here. However, it's boring. It is a minor league team. And you could, be stupid to be like, oh, quick, we need a name. Hockey's on ice. Got it. There you go. All right, let's go home. It's dumb. It's dumb is what it is. It's very, very simple. However, the team named Ice that has already done it has done it very well, which you'll see later down here. Kind of mashes in with the Yetis idea that's already been out there that people really like. All right, moving on. Utah Frost. You can claim it's better. It's better than Ice. It's a little more, expanded. It still sucks. Same thing with Utah Freeze. It's better than Ice, but it sucks. It's not good. Utah Glaciers. Very unique name. No. It's half of this list is just like they had 5 or 6. They were like, yes, all right, these ones are good. Quick, we need to fill it up with something else. I don't know, just think of this. Look up something and just write down like the first 10 words you can think of. It's bad. Utah Blizzard. It's applicable, but minor league sounding, and it's bad. It's better than the last 4? Yeah, it's better than the last 4, but it's not good. And Squall, everything is bad. This is I think the worst one on the list, easily. The Utah Squall is a horrible name. It's just, it won't win, but to even have it in the top 20, no, it's bad. Everything is bad. Utah Powder, same kind of idea. You know, it makes sense with skiing culture here. It's unique. That's a lot of these names are. They're unique, but they're minor league sounding unique, and that's not necessarily what we're looking for. It's the problem of they work, but they can be better. It's, you know, would you settle for, you know, the simple name that doesn't sound good, or at least try and think of something better? It just, most of these are not good. We will get into the good ones here in a minute, though. But here's that Winnipeg Ice team that I mentioned earlier. It works great. It's a very simple name, but they're a minor league team. It works for them. The Yeti logo, it works good. We're not doing ice though. Yetis could be on there, but we'll get to that in a minute. So now the good ones, which are kind of more of the animal slash people. There's only really one person one, but they work better. Starting with the Outlaws, great name. Now we're getting to it. Now they picked the good ones. It sounds good. A lot of Western history here. It's debatable, I think, whether it could completely be a match for Utah as of right now. It works. It works good, but I could see people pushing for other things better. But I think that it works good. Great logo. All these have great logos or great logo potential. But it's better than most of the ones on there. In the similar vein, Utah Venom. Plenty of snakes here. Good imagery. The only problem with Venom that I have is there's a lot of snake logos already out there and a lot of snake teams that it could be, you know, is this really an original, you know, team for us, or are we just kind of copying off others? It works. It works. And that's what matters at this point. It works good. It's better than the other ones. Hive, Utah Hive, is not a great name per se. It makes sense, you know, Beehive State works. However, I do think Utah Swarm would work better. If you want to do a bee theme, because you know you have the bees already in the minor league baseball. If you wanted to keep that theme with it, Swarm works better than Hive does. Because if you were to do Swarm, then you could claim that, you know, the Delta Center, you could nickname it the Hive. See what I'm getting at there? Makes sense. Plenty of teams have already done it where they have the arena nickname something that matches with the team. Swarm works better for a bee name than Hive does, but Hive could still be used. Now, the most popular one, the Utah Yeti. I don't know. It works. It can work. It's a fine name. Just something about it seems off to me. I don't know what it is, but something is off. The most important thing, though, is that it is Utah Yeti, not Yetis. It has to be singular for it to work. Yetis does not work. Yeti works. But something's off with it for me personally. It's not what I picked. I have a feeling it might win. Don't be surprised if it does, because people really like Yeti. But it's not for me. One of the ones that is for me is Utah Mammoth, which you could also do Utah Mammoths. Like, both work. But it's a good name, solid name. We have the history here of, you know, dinosaur fossils and ancient animals and stuff like that. It works. If then you get into, well, would you do mammoths, you know, get into that issue. Another issue is that it has been recently used for a hockey team specifically, but there's also, I believe, a lacrosse team named the Mammoths, so then you get into issues there of, is it too similar? Are there rights in place to block it? But it's good. One that caught me by surprise, that it's also growing on me, is Caribou. because I'd seen there's plenty of things that are like you could do the elk, you could do the deer. Caribou never came up in those, but I don't hate it actually. It's not bad. It's very unique in fairness. There are plenty of deer named teams, a few elk, no caribou. Though you could claim they're all similar in a sense, I think it works really well. Um, However, is it simple for the NHL, seeing as it has been used kinda, sorta in minor league teams already? And I'll explain that in a sec here. Looking back at the first few, you have the Williamsport / New Jersey Outlaws. It's a very complicated team. They don't exist anymore. Doesn't matter. Of the FHL at one point, you could do for an Outlaws look. With the snake idea, you've got the Detroit Vipers of the IHL and the Columbus Cottonmouths of the CHL, ECHL, and SPHL. Very complicated franchise. So the snake one has been done before, and it's been done great. Both logos look good. Would Venom follow into a similar vein where it's like, well, it's kind of like these ones. I don't really know if it's great. Bees have been done before. In hockey specifically, with the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees of the CHL. So Bees has also been done. Moving into more of them, here's what I'm talking about with the Mammoths. The Elmira Mammoths, which have folded already, of the FPHL, have done Mammoths very recently. So would it be, all right, they folded, and then we're just going to take the name? So we'll see. It's tricky on that one. It's still a good name regardless. What I was talking about with Caribou is the Iowa Heartlanders, a very recent team of the ECHL, which are not Caribous, named directly, but you could claim, you kind of did, you just saw them and you went, well, let's just change the name a little, similar logo-esque, and we'll move from there. Not quite a deer or anything like that, but in a similar vein, as you could claim you're copying the Wisconsin Wendigo of the NAHL. Kind of like that same idea of like a deer-like animal. Yeah, I'm aware. Just to not get into the semantics, that same idea of, well, you just took a deer-like animal that's recently been used and you just made it your own logo. You could see why people would be like, well, we just kind of copied this off someone, didn't we? So what did I pick from the list? You can pick up to 4 names. Personally, I picked the Outlaws, the Mammoth, the Swarm, and Venom. Shock, I didn't pick Squall, I'm sure. It's really just Outlaws, Venom, Swarm, Yeti, Mammoth, and Caribou, and you might argue Mountaineers that are really the good ones. So it's like, 7 of 20-ish? Most of these aren't great. Now, if I had the pick of any of the names, on this list or not on this list, there has only been one name I had seen so far that was like, yes, that sounds good to me, I really like this one, and that would be the Utah Cutthroat. State fish, the cutthroat trout. I think that sounds the best. It's not on there, so it doesn't matter. But if I had to pick, that would be the one I would go for. So overall, most of these are bad. The link for the survey is on the NHL in Utah website. It takes like 2 seconds to fill out. All it wants is your picks, your name, your email, and then you're done. It's going to come down to, I think, probably Outlaws, Yeti, Mammoth, and between Venom, Swarm, and Caribou, probably Venom. Although I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Mountaineers get up in the rankings. I'd be surprised if I saw most anything else. If like Ice or Blizzard makes it far, I would be surprised, because we're not that dumb. Or maybe we are, I don't know. Or even if Utah Hockey Club makes it further as like a permanent name, Please, for the love of God, don't make that the permanent name. It's not great as a one-year name. It works, but don't make it a permanent name. So overall, most aren't great. Pick your favorites. I think you have until May 22nd for the first round. So what is that, 2 weeks? Yeah. So, there are good names in here. Most aren't great. But the ones that are good, in fairness, very good. Thank you for listening to my rambling again. Have a good one.